Hey everyone, can you guys hear me? Somebody come in. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. I'm just waiting for you guys to let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Yes. Okay. I'm live. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, you guys. I'm going to bring Amanda up in just a bit, but I thought I'd come in here and just say hi for a little bit to you guys while we're waiting on her. How are you guys doing? Okay. Today is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I did replace my dead roses, just so you guys know. Replaced them, and I see Amanda coming right there. She's trying to figure out things, I think. She's struggling. I did replace them with some new flowers for you guys because, I don't know, the dead flowers, I was watching the recap from yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh. Hey, Sweet Pea. Hi, Rose. Hey, Karen. How are you guys doing? Hey, Scott. Loud and clear. Am I being too loud? Hey, Midwest. Follow the family's background. Which family? The Laundrie family? Hey, Rose. How are you? Josh. I'm really excited too. Hey, Gamer Guy. I'm really excited today because one, I have Amanda on panel with me. And then two, I just feel really good today. I'm getting a lot better. So, hey, Kara, Kelly, everybody's coming in here. Hey, Jen. I'm half listening. It's okay, Sky. I know you're working. You're busy. It's okay. It's all right. We normally don't have trouble in here, so I don't think we are. Amanda, can you hear me if you could? Are you in the background, or is that Sky playing tricks on me again? Last time I sent the link to Amanda and Sky was playing tricks on us, and she was in the back room the whole time. So while I wait for Amanda, I'm sore, but I'm glad you're feeling better, Rose. I'm so glad. Blessed beyond measures. Hello, he says. Of course he is. Since when do evil people like him decide to off themselves? They don't, in my opinion, this was all set up. Oh, you're going right into it. That's going to be a good, hey Marie, a good topic today. Let's yeah, if you guys could thumbs this up. Oh, give me 1 second. Ugh. Hold on, you guys. Let me send my mods a link really quick. Really fast. Oh, here it is. Should have did this before. Give me 1 second. Of course not. Ugh, it won't let me in. All right, I'll figure it out after. All right, so just so you, hey TJ, just so you guys know, we're going to be talking a little bit. I found this article, which I'm going to share my screen. And, oh, Sweet Pea, it's totally fine. Let me know. Yeah, because I see Amanda. Amanda, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come on. Okay, let me bring her on panel now.
Ready as ever, I guess. Nothing ever goes your way.
There you go. There you go. All right. Can you guys hear Amanda okay? Let us know if you guys could. Look, Amanda in the house. Hi, Amanda. Thank you for being here.
Hey, everybody.
I need to send the link. Talk to everybody, please.
How is everybody today? I heard that we're running a little bit late, so I want to apologize. First and foremost, I was running on time, and then kids got in the way, so I'm running a little bit late too. I didn't even put on my lashes. So if you got beautiful with this, I apologize. You know what? I can't see chat. Oh, there it is. Hi. Hey, Sky. Hey, Scott. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Karen. Long time no taco. Hey, Callie. Jen Hoya. Hey, Amber. What's going on? Crazy. Delana, if she's not in here, she asked if I could send her a message, and I forgot.
Amanda, I'm going to send you a message right now. Hold on, guys. This is what happens when you have two people on panel. Hold on, Amanda.
You could delete me real fast.
No, I'm going to send you a message.
Oop, that's not it. Okay. I need to get an office like crazies. This is just, oh my God.
Yeah, that's the problem I'm having right now. Can you send it to Amber? You
Oh,
have
your link?
no, your link for.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the message I sent you.
Yeah. It
Okay.
says
No.
password.
Okay. So just so you know what we're trying to figure out. So we're live today. Thanks for being here, and we're a little all over the place in the beginning. We'll get the hang of this right now. Just give it a second. But I'm gonna.
Also, I'm not used to showing my face, so I'm like trying to make sure I don't go at any crazy angles or anything.
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I go back, I rewatch. Thanks. Okay, so she's gonna send you a link, Amber. So I rewatch my lives all the time, and I always get frozen at the worst time. Where, like, yeah. So StreamYard likes to play tricks on us. So let's try this again. Take two. Welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. Today we're gonna have a really good discussion. I have my co-host on this side of the screen. That's AmandSvida. She also has a YouTube channel. She does true crime. She's amazing with investigating. If you're not subscribed to her channel, please subscribe. The girls in chat will definitely link her channel. And she's been a little MIA, but I'll let her explain why she's been MIA. If you want to let everyone know why you've been a little ghost on your channel.
I'm trying to keep the peace. I'm pregnant, and everything stresses you out when you're pregnant. Not to scare anybody, but I'm high risk. So I'm trying to, skirt around all the internet drama and kind of just stay in my lane until something that I feel is really important pops up. And then I'll cover it when I do. But I'm always down to help out my friends. Crazy asked me to go live. I haven't gone live in a long time, and I really miss everybody. So here I am today.
Yay. I didn't know you were high risk.
I am high risk. My labors go really bad. So they qualify me as high risk right away.
Oh, wow. Okay. So definitely praying for that. And Amanda also has little ones at home, you guys. So she has her hands full. Not only is she pregnant, but she does have kids. So yeah, she definitely has a lot going on. So like I told her before this, at any time, if you need to get off or you're feeling tired or you're just like, you got to go do something, you all know I like to ramble. Just let me know, be like crazy, I got to go or whatever. And it's totally fine.
I have 2 kids and a husband, so that's like 3 kids.
Right? I totally understand what you're saying with that. Jesus Christ. So just everyone, if you're coming into chat, thanks for being here. I did title it, Is Brian Alive? And the reason I did that was because that's not mainly the focus. I really want to watch the body cam video, the second one. But I put that because people still seem to be emailing me. I don't know if you've seen this, Amanda. I'm sure you have because it's an older article. But people really believe Brian is alive. And let me share my screen so I could just show you guys what I'm looking at. Now, different news outlets have reported on it. I just happened to pull up this one. It's going to be The Sun. So whatever. This is just the only one I grabbed right now this morning. But this is the one that everyone seems to keep emailing me. So I thought, why not real quick in the beginning before we actually get started? We'll just go through this and we'll see what you guys see. I already see people commenting in the chat, though. I don't know if you've seen it, that people are saying, yes.
I really think he's alive.
So put 1 if you think Brian's alive, 2 if you don't. I don't think there is a 3 with that. Do you?
I guess 3 would be maybe. Some people just
maybe. Okay. I think I'm a 1, but then I go, I'm a maybe.
You think he's alive?
No. I think I'm a 3. I don't know anymore. Nothing would shock me. I think it's a 2, but then I go to 3, like nothing would shock me with it. So, but I'm going to go with 2. I don't think he is alive.
I most definitely don't think he's alive. And I hate to sound like somebody that's in forensics just because I'm a sleuther and I've been following crime cases a long time. But they literally used his mandible to check his dental records. They can't have your lower jaw, bro, without you being dead. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. And then you guys got to think about it too. If it is in him, then who is that? So then is this like a more bigger conspiracy than we can even imagine? Because then you got to include law enforcement and all that with it, right? Because who is this person then? Or where do they get it?
Right. Who would he be for them to have conspired such a big thing? And would they have had to have known beforehand that Gabby was going to have her life taken by him and then start covering up for him from the get-go? I don't think so.
Yeah, so
He's
I
not that
see
special.
we have some ones. We have some ones in here. Oh, we have quite a few ones. Okay.
Everybody loves a conspiracy theory.
We have some threes. Sweet Pea, our very own, says he's alive. Let's see. I do see a lot of ones though. See, so I had asked this before, and there was a lot of ones in it too. So people do believe Brian is alive right now. And this article right here that you guys can see from the Sun, again, other news stations did report on it, articles, but I just pulled this one up because it was the first one. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it really quick. So it just says, still alive. Brian Laundrie sleuths say he was pictured alive this month in a wild illegal letter as parents bid for the access to hit his 20K. Now, this was posted on December 28th. I did see it when it came out. And then, yeah, it says updated again. So they probably updated it later on. Yeah, just like 2 minutes later that day. So Brian Laundrie sleuths claim that he was seen in a photo running this month in a wild letter as his parents attempt to access his estate. Now, you guys already know that the family is trying to get access to that Bank of America account that has $20,000 in it. Amanda, I know you've heard about that.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that 20,000 that's in a bank account right now?
This is just my own personal theory. I think that the reason that money is in his account and he didn't use it when he was traveling back from the national park to Florida is because it wasn't his money. It's his folks' money. I believe that they, somehow did some type of, money laundering, not necessarily so nefarious, but they probably bought and sold a property in his name. And then the money was transferred into his account to save on some type of tax bracket. And that's why he wouldn't use the money and instead stole Gabby's money because it was his parents. And I think that's why they feel entitled to it. Because otherwise, you would think they would just want to lay low from here on out.
Well, that's a really good theory. And I know me and Amanda had talked about that before. And me, on the other hand, I kind of think that Brian didn't touch this 20K at the time that he was traveling is because I think, and this is just my opinion, that that account possibly, I want to know when the account was made, that Bank of America. When was, and not only that, but when did that 20K go in that account? Because in my mind, I'm going to that little conspiracy part of it where I think it was put in after the fact of what happened to Gabby. So I'm kind of wondering, was that put in there kind of to help him, get away, buy him some time? Because until we see when that money was put in there, that's where I'm going. But it's either there or what you're saying, because what you're saying, I think, does make a lot of sense too.
I also heard people say that they think the 20,000 was a reward for his parents for finding him.
But can parents get their reward? Remember, we talked about, I think it was with whose was it with? Was it Summer Wiles that the whole thing with the reward? Everyone was thinking when H said in the interview that some kind of lead came up, and then allegedly Candace was driving to go report that tip that came in, and people were like, "Oh, she's trying to claim that reward." You guys remember that?
Right.
But then, I don't think family can get the reward, right? Or am I wrong?
To be honest with you, I don't know the legalities in that, and I don't believe this theory, but I thought it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know. Does anyone know, can the family, immediate family, I would say, get that reward?
I don't know. And Amber makes a very good point. Where do they put the reward in his account? I had heard it was a joint account, but of course we don't know for sure if that's true. But makes you, the things that make you go,
And this was another thing too, with this 20,000 being in his in the bank account with his name on it, is that when he flew out to back home on the 17th, why not use that money? Why close out a storage that you're going to have for what? A couple $100 the most, I think. I mean, come on, how much storage did he have? You're going to save money you're going to go all the way home, leave Gabby there, come home, close your storage out to save some money, but then we're hearing there's 20,000. It just doesn't make sense to me, which made me have more questions when I learned about this $20,000.
Right. If I lived in my van and I had 20K, I'd be chilling. I wouldn't be worried about my storage unit.
Seriously, who would be worrying about their storage unit? Nobody would. So I don't know. Okay, let me go on and read this. The email was part of a court filing in the Laundrie's estate case, in which his parents are trying to collect the $20,000 from his bank account. So they're saying, so this is of course the photo of Brian and Gabby. She always just looks so happy.
She's so beautiful. And I know that's just, it's so sad to say in hindsight, but I still am enamored by her.
Mm-hmm. A wild email alleged that Brian Laundrie was seen in CCTV footage in December. So this is the photo that they captured right here. And it says the truth will always come out. And I'm not sure what this is right here. I don't know. But this is allegedly the photo that they captured. And it's really grainy, as you can see. I mean, I'm going to be honest, it looks like Brian, but I feel like a lot of the sightings of Brian kind of resembled him in some way. I mean, you have glasses on and he's bald. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to tell, but it does look, because I did compare like photos of him with glasses on, and I was like, it does kind of look like it. But again, this photo is black and white and grainy, so I don't know.
I hate to sound negative, but it looks like my cousin Oscar too, so it could be anybody.
He looks like someone in everyone's family. Let me see. So the email was sent with an extremely grainy image, obviously, and it says in the note, which included extremely grainy images, the unknown sender alleges that Laundrie is alive and is being helped by a friend and family member. Now, it doesn't say, it says, though the sender did not accuse his parents, Roberta and Christopher Laundrie. So in this email, they send this image and they're saying that he is alive and that a friend and a family member is helping him, but they're not accusing Roberta or Christopher. So I don't know, but I tell you guys, this went crazy on Reddit.
They just get away with everything, his parents.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. They're so suspicious to me. I think they are. Brian Laundrie is still alive. A copy of the email obtained by the Sun, it says a photo of Brian Christopher Laundrie running down from the street, caught on CCTV on December 3rd, 2021, is attached, the email contains. The wild note concludes by stating, so I don't think you should not grant a cremation for Brian Christopher Laundrie, who is the son of Roberta and Christopher Laundrie. So pretty much saying you shouldn't be giving him the money. The court documents noted that no further action was taken by the court after receiving the email. So since this was sent, hold on, I went too quick. Let me see, where did it go? So no further sent to receiving the email. Laundrie's family was discovered in late, remains were discovered in late October after a manhunt. Okay, we already know that. So they're saying that this email was sent to the courts. Is that what I'm reading correctly? And they're not responding to it. What? I don't know. It's just really bizarre to me. I don't know. The circuit court on the 12th, So for Sarasota, Florida, did not immediately return the Sun's request for the comment regarding the outlandish claims made by this email. Now, this is the part that I think is interesting. The email was part of the court filings in Laundrie's estate case. So I did go to Sarasota courts to see if, for everything. Let me pull that up. Hold on. And to see, was this email included in it? Because I wanted to know if it was.
One thing I want to interject is that when somebody dies without a will, all of their items go into probate. At some point, they find the next of kin, and they would give it to the next of kin regardless. His parents, I think, would be his next of kin. I don't think he has any children. But I wonder why they're making such an effort to get the money before probate even goes through. I mean, he has only been gone since September.
Yeah, and not only that, recently we learned that they actually are trying to get also the notebook, which I think is really interesting too.
Right. They're just trying to get all of his property.
Yeah. And I was also thinking really quick about the notebook. Now I'm just thinking, what if that's Gabby's notebook and he wrote a, I'm not going to say the word, the S, note inside of it. Then that means Gabby's family would get it, because we know Gabby's mom's also trying to, she filed to get all Gabby's belongings, and allegedly, the lawyer Stephen Bertolino is saying, yeah, they're going to give them. They're not going to contest to that. They're going to give everything that's Gabby to her.
I think it would make more sense that it was her notebook and maybe she wrote about the abuse in the notebook or some type of altercation that they had, and they're trying to keep it out of the public's eye and away from her parents. I feel like that would make even more sense than there being a note of himself wanting to unalive in the notebook.
That's very true. That you make a good point with that. Do you guys want to go to Sarasota courts to see what Sarasota? Is that how am I saying it right? Sarasota. Sarasota. You guys want to go see it, or you want to just jump into the body cam? Let me know what you guys want to do because I could pull it up.
Somebody mentioned, I believe it was Nicole. She asked if he did go to the storage unit, and all storage units have cameras or surveillance systems. Why isn't there surveillance video out? Makes sense, and I believe it would have been within the time frame of how long it's stored. Maybe they're stored a month, and it was maybe 3 weeks beforehand when we found out that Gabby was actually missing. But I mean, I don't know if it's something they have and they just haven't released. But it is interesting to see if he went by himself to remove the stuff or if his parents helped him, because that would just kind of, I don't know. If his parents helped him, it would be like, why didn't they just do it from the beginning for him instead of making him fly all the way out there just to move a small locker?
No, but that's a good point though, because why isn't none of that been released? Nothing's been released. Like him, they have cameras all in there, in the hallway, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I should know because I had plenty of storages back when I lived in California. Why isn't any of that surfaced yet? Nothing's surfaced.
And Florida's usually very good at releasing everything, document dumps like crazy. And I feel like they've really kept a lot of it really tight. And I wonder if it's because she wasn't found in Florida and then it moves the jurisdiction. But I wonder.
They're also one of the easiest. When you look up any court documents in Florida, they're one of the easiest things to navigate, I swear. Sometimes different states, it's so hard and it takes me forever to access anything. But for Florida, it's super easy, super easy. Let's see, ongoing investigation, they'll say. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They'll say something like that.
Good point, Amber.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. I did send it to myself. Okay, hold on.
So the Pink Dahlia is saying, the storage unit makes no sense. If he was connected to Moab, the timing is perfect to get the hell out of there. I agree. If there is some type of connection to Moab, it would make sense why he needed to create some type of alibi. Like, I wasn't here at this time. I was busy doing stuff, or I was busy hiding stuff. Or obviously not saying it. I, for one, never truly believed that he did the extra killings in Moab, but I will say I've never doubted that they saw him at Moonflower, because they were there. When you live in your van, you don't necessarily just jump in and leave after work like a normal person. I believe that, well, they were there all day long when they were working all day long when they were sitting there in the cafe. And then afterwards, I believe they would have stayed around if they saw some type of altercation happening.
Yeah, I think so too. But on the other hand, hold on, let me share my screen really quick. On the other hand, I lean more towards, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, and it's fine, but I'm starting to think now that I'm hearing more, because we're learning more information now when it comes to Moab, like what happened there, where you learned that actually Kylie and Crystal both witnessed this argument. And not only that, they witnessed a male punching a female. So that was alarming to me that that's what they learned. And Sean Paul also said that, if Kylie, that Kylie witnessed it, that he can picture her yelling out at Brian, saying something like, hey man, like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, all love here. This is Moab, something like that. Like, she would have said something, witnessing that. So it just, and if Brian would see she said something, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I'm starting to think though, you guys, and I'm going to go on when we play the body cam and I'm going to go and explain it more, but I'm starting to think and wonder, and just bear with me, what if this creeper guy at the campsite is just that? What if he's just the creeper guy? But what if the creeper guy isn't the one who took their life? And I know people are going to think I'm crazy, and it goes against...
There could definitely be more than one creepy person.
Yeah, and I know it goes against what the PI has said, but I'm going to go more into explaining why I'm starting to lean more towards that. But that's where I'm getting at with this case, that I'm starting to wonder if possibly it might it might be two different, like, connections here. Like,
I don't know if you ever heard crazy that they were saying that Kylie and Crystal had been complaining about the flies where they were camping. And if you remember here in the body cam, you'll hear Brian state that one of the reasons Gabby was so aggravated was the flies. And it makes me think, were they camping out in the same place?
Yes. Good point, Amanda. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Those are the only kind I make.
See, this is why I have Amanda here. Very good point. Very good point. All right. Any questions, you guys, before I hit play? Now, how we're going to do this is I'm going to push play, and I did take some timestamps that I do want to stop it, and I'll discuss. Amanda, anytime if you hear something on here and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to say something out loud, just be like, stop crazy, and I'll stop it, and then we'll discuss it. And then we'll also be in chat for the most part, though, commenting and stuff like that, answering questions and everything. But I just want to see, before I move forward, anybody have any questions so far? Amber says, what if Gabby and Brian were the young couple who played pool with Crystal and Kylie, and they told them about the creepy guy? So Brian knew of a creepy guy. Well, Amber, check this out. Okay, so Sean Paul, you guys all know that is, in case you don't, that is Kylie's dad. He is becoming more and more, he's always been vocal, but we're actually, now that more YouTubers are picking up on this case, he's doing lots of interviews. I watched an interview on Monday, not sure if you watched it, Amanda, I think it's the Pacquiao show, and I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I
saw a little bit of it, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure if it was on that interview or he's also done another interview just recently, a couple of days ago. But he said something I guess it's now being put out there that I'm seeing that Crystal, when she left there, that she actually screamed out where they were going to be staying at, their location. And I just
pinpoint better.
Yeah, and I just thought, why would you scream out where you're going to be staying? Was the creeper there, and you were like letting everyone know where you'd be? I don't know. Or I don't know. It's just strange to me that she screamed it out before leaving Woody's that evening. I can't seem to, I don't know. It's just weird. And if, like Amber says, if Brian and Gabby were that young couple at Woody's and they seen Kylie and Crystal there and they recognized them from being,
the couple that yelled.
The couple that yelled in front of, right by Moonflower when the incident happened, was Brian upset over it? And if Crystal yelled out where they're going to be staying, did they go out there? Now, I know a lot of people are going to come in here and say, but then that means that Gabby was there and X, Y, and Z. But you guys, honestly, we got to think of this critically, okay? We got to remove our emotions from it. And no one's accusing Gabby of anything, but we're just trying to piece together what facts we're getting and see where that goes. No matter where it goes, it may go where you don't want it to, but does that mean that you don't talk about it? No, we're going to still talk about it. So
one thing that I had thought of myself from the very beginning is they take him to a motel. Mm-hmm. And this is probably the same day that Kylie and Crystal were killed. And he was supposed to be by himself. So a lot of people were saying, how would he have gotten from the motel to where the ladies were found? I don't bet on them not having met up afterwards. He had such a hold on Gabby that I believe she probably would have gone and found him. And they would have, met up before the 24-hour mark that they had to separate or whatever. And then if you think about it, Brian has pictures of himself like hiking. So he obviously left the motel to go hiking. And one thing that I always pointed out was when he's eating that melon, he has a metal spoon. If you go through all their photos of traveling, they used wooden spoons or potato ware, as they call it. So, he must have gone to the hotel, but also he left the hotel. And how did he get to go to his preferred? He wanted to go hiking so bad. We'll see right now. But how did he get there with that metal spoon, which is, I know it's kind of funny, but how did he get out there without a car? Maybe he did have the van and maybe he was with Gabby and maybe he walked, he took a walk that night and could have done whatever he did nefariously. We already know from her videos that she slept in the tent by herself. Because remember when she's holding the tent on the side, she said it was raining all night and she had to hold the tent like this. And it's like, so where was Brian? He was sleeping in the van.
Yeah. And another thing too, which it makes a little, we have to go more on dig, is because Brian's Instagram is no longer there, right?
Yes, it was deleted.
Yeah, it was deleted. So so we're gonna have to go and look at everything. Because with dates and stuff like that, I completely forgot what he's posted. So I did go back to look at Gabby's, but you make a good point. It also is because when we don't know if Gabby went to see Brian after, we don't know where she was after. Where did she go park at? Did they talk? Did they link up again? And it's just interesting that on the 12th, we now learn, which just doesn't sit right to me that we're barely learning it, that a young couple actually played pool. It says more with Crystal, but they played pool with somebody, a young couple. And if I was going to describe Gabby and Brian, by far, I would say the young couple. But again, but then I think if they were that couple that got in an argument, I don't know, would you want to be playing with them? I don't know. Or do they just talk about, I don't know. It's just so many things it's like it adds up, but then it doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I hate to sound stereotypical, but obviously Kylie and Crystal, they were both women and they were in a relationship. So I feel they would be more in tune to protect Gabby in a situation as opposed to protect Brian. But also maybe that's why it seems like they could have tried to link up with them and play pool with them to kind of assess the situation and see how she was. Yeah. But I've definitely always caught the vibe that if there was some type of connection, it was and that he killed Kylie and Crystal, it's because he was angry that they were protecting Gabby or calling him out on his bull.
Yeah, very true. And the way we hear from Kylan's family, that's the type of women they are. That's something they would do. And Kohan says too, she says, I was saying the two ladies from Moab, being a lesbian couple and knowing lesbians the way I do, she says, they will defend other women. Oh, for sure. No doubt in my mind.
I mean, I'm not lesbian, and I have myself personally, I've seen women fighting with their boyfriends more than one time in my life. Have I said, jump in the car, I'm taking you somewhere. Mm-hmm. I'm taking you somewhere safe.
Yeah.
More than one time. At least 3 times in my life I've done that.
Jay says, you're missing many facts. Let us know what facts you're talking about. What facts are you talking about?
Be specific.
Yeah, specifically. And we can talk it before I hit play.
You can press play and then we can interrupt.
All right. So while we're playing this, I am going to turn camera off for me because I just feel like it plays a lot smoother. I don't know, StreamYard always fights with me. So I will turn my camera off really quick. And then I will make this bigger. And let me get so I'm able to comment. Hold on, guys.
I'm over here trying to add a photo to my avatar because it's showing me as like a little blank box.
Oh, I know. That's why I was like, Amanda, is that you?
Okay, it was Sky.
That's what I thought at first. Okay, so I'm able to see chat now. Okay. So, hey, Kim, how are you? Kez, what's up? She says she's eating pancakes for breakfast. Good morning.
Sounds delicious.
Hey, Sherry, just good morning to anyone who is coming into chat that I didn't say hello.
Oh my gosh. Do you hear that?
Jay says that Gabby stayed at a truck stop that night. But how do you know for a fact that she stayed there? Is there surveillance that's been put out? Is there something that actually digitally that links her there? What we're saying is we don't know if she actually stood there, if she stood anywhere. She could have easily said she's going to stay somewhere and then went and met up with Brian. And that's what we're saying here. Did she go meet up with Brian that night? We don't know.
I personally think he had a hold on her where she would have gone to meet up with him to apologize for what was going on.
Hold on. And then can we remove DC's comment? Just because, try not to say that R word in chat. It'll flag my live. Yeah, so let's just try to refrain from, just say R and we'll know what you mean. But if you can remove his comment, I can't do it from my end, which is so weird. Mar says she doubt that that she stayed in a truck stop. Yeah, all by herself. I doubt that too. It's okay, DC. No worries, you guys. Just refrain from saying like certain words. It flags a channel's live or video. So like we'll just say R again for SA. You guys know what that means. We don't say it, just stuff like that. Okay, thank you, DC. I really appreciate it. And no worries, no worries. Okay, so let's hit play.
You can talk to her. She seems like a really sweet girl, 22 or something, has a lot of anxiety, and from what she's claiming, she's the full-on aggressor here. That's kind of what he said. I'd love to go talk to the independent witnesses, and maybe that's what I'll go do.
I do just want to say really quick before I even move on that this is obviously, there's a lot of background noise. I have the volume on the highest I can, but if you have earphones, definitely get your earphones. And not only that, but from the very beginning, when this officer arrives, do you see how he's saying right off the bat, Gabby, it's being pointed out that to him, that it seems like Gabby is the aggressor. So immediately he's arriving there and he's already thinking Gabby is the one who is the aggressor, which I just thought was kind of upsetting. Okay, so just so you guys know, grab your earphones if you can.
Another thing I'd like to point out is we never received the female body cam, and it was later said by her that she was trying to tell Gabby that she needed to separate from Brian, and Gabby was saying that she knew.
And really quick, why do you think we never got her body cam? We got these two, but we never got hers.
Pending investigation? I don't know, but I think it was just, I think they were covering their butts with that one because they really messed up.
Yeah, I think so too, because these were released and then everybody wanted that one. And then all of a sudden they're saying no because of the investigation, but then these have been released. It just, yeah, I agree with you. Okay, let me hit play.
Yeah, there's a couple waters. Here's this bag. You might need that for someone else. I know to keep their rings. Rings, phone, and I was on the keys because I didn't want to go anywhere. And my big fear is, I don't have my phone. I don't have a phone. So she goes off about, but it's all right. I'm on my own. So I was saying, let's just go for a walk. And she was trying to get the keys for me, so I was just going, just wait back up, and then that's when she hit me. And I didn't give, I don't want to shoot, I didn't give it what really busy, so I'm just trying to keep her away and not hit it. And then I got really loud, and I just like, gave this attention where I was going, back up, get away, just get me. Okay, so you said you pushed her to create some distance, obviously, right? What happened after that? What got distracted? Okay, Google.
He was sitting there, right in front of the reports that they were getting, and he still went off and was trying to make Gabby seem like she was the aggressor.
Hey, we got this van stopped, and we've separated the male and the female, and we got both of their stories. Now that we're not looking for them so intensely, I was just wondering if you had a minute to just kind of repeat to me what it is exactly you saw.
No problem, sir. Yeah, so I was talking to my friend across the street near the Forest Service building, and I just noticed that this couple was sort of arguing a bit, and I wasn't staring at them, but it did catch my attention. And what I noticed is it seemed like they were sort of squabbling over a phone. I want to say that he was trying to grab reminded me of very secure, I don't know, children sort of fighting. But there seemed like something was off, and it seemed like a weird vibe. And eventually it seemed like she crawled into the driver's seat, sort of like got into the vehicle over his lap, sort of forced her way in, I guess. And then they were in the car, and then they just drove away. So I wasn't sure what the nature of the argument was or what. It just seems like there was some sort of disagreement and some sort of like shutting. I don't know why she would have entered through the driver's door. I thought that was strange. So I thought about calling it in, but as soon as I walked in this bar, there was another gentleman who was already calling it in. So I was like, oh, good on you. That seemed a bit off. I wasn't sure what to do in that situation, but that's what I saw. And if there's any other specific questions, I'm happy to try to answer.
Did you ever see the male strike the female?
I would say that I think I saw maybe a push or a shove, but not like a full-on punch to the face or anything.
Was the shove was the shove or push an aggression towards her, or was it a defensive maneuver away from her or to get her away from him?
That's a good question. It was unclear what was going on to me, but it did seem like he was. It seemed like he was trying to close off the passenger side of the vehicle and close things up. It almost seemed like he put that backpack or something on the back of the vehicle. I'm not sure. And then he was stepping in and she was out trying to get in. So maybe.
Okay.
I don't. It was the whole thing was off, and so no, I didn't see anything that was like him taking after her or hitting her or vice versa. It was kind of light, and they were almost kind of laughing, and I wasn't sure if they were just joking around, to be honest. But then it got more strange as he was in the vehicle about to drive off.
But you did see her slapping him, though. It sounds like.
Yes, it was like my memory is he was in the driver's seat, and she has the driver's door open, and she's like kind of hitting him either in the arm or maybe on the face, maybe with an open hand, like, hey, let me in, don't be a jerk, something like that.
Okay. Well, your story is really, really helpful because you're an independent witness, and we've just interviewed both of them, and what you're saying is making everything make a lot of sense. So I really appreciate that I ran into you and that I was able to get your number and talk to you. So thank you very much. If we need to ask for a written statement, obviously it's voluntary, it's helpful, but at this point I don't know if we need to go that far unless you're around and super willing at this moment. I can meet you and get a statement.
Yeah, no, I live here, totally willing to do that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Maybe I'll just I can go write it down now before memory fades, because like I said, I was kind of just casually observing, but something did seem off, and just wanted to make sure that no one was in a bad situation. So
where can we find you to give you a form real quick? About 10-15 minutes.
Okay, cool. All
Thank
right.
you. Appreciate you.
All right, bye.
I wonder if he worked at Moonflower.
Hey, Robin.
And real quick, Karen, you make a really good point. Karen says that she wonders, what does she say? Let me get to the comment. Karen says, but never talk to second witness who called it in. Yes, and that's exactly what I wrote down for my notes too. He takes this one witness statement, but why doesn't he ever follow up with the second one? Because it's the second one that says that he sees Brian slapping Gabby. And to me, that's so alarming right there. But yet, again, Gabby immediately is painted. And then you talk to this witness, it seems like Gabby is the aggressive one in this incident right here. But he never did follow up with the second one. Why? I don't know.
When we watched the first body cam, Gabby was still missing, and we didn't know what was really going on. And I'm not going to lie to you, I felt like I was betraying her by playing it because they really did edit it to make it look like she was the aggressor in the first video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all of us too, when we watched the first one, it just put us all, not sure wherever, if you've been in a relationship that's a domestic relationship, but it just, for me, when I seen it, I also felt it was like clear as day that to me, Gabby was the victim, and she does what a typical victim does in these situations. You take the blame and you protect the abuser. And I've seen that. I don't understand. And again, I'm not blaming, and I know other people have different opinions with this, and I'm not blaming these officers. I'm not, but I just don't understand why they didn't see that. Like, to me, it's just, I don't know. I see it so clearly when you hear Gabby talking. When they even ask her like about the mark on her face, she totally downplays it and doesn't even want to say, what Brian actually did. And I don't know why they didn't pick that up, her not wanting to say the truth when it came to what Brian did. I don't know. To me, I just think there should be better training when it comes to this. And obviously they're trained to deal with domestic incidents. So
I for one totally blame them. I think that they totally dropped the ball, and they failed to see that she was scared of his reaction, and that's why she was trying to downplay it. Did he slap you? But I hit him first kind of stuff. I think they completely missed all of that.
And even in this body cam, you're going to see too, she's so concerned about taking the blame for Brian. He when he's driving, he goes over the curb or hits the curb or something like that. She even takes the blame for that. Like, she wants to make sure that Brian gets blamed for nothing. And that's what victims do. That's what we do, because, we take the blame for one, either because we've been so programmed in our own brain to think that it's our fault all the time, that we must have done something. And I don't know, my train of thought just went out of nowhere.
Well, they completely missed the fact that instead of pulling over for the police, he sped up, and she wasn't driving, he was. So I think they completely forgot about that, a few seconds in.
And Buttercup, I agree. She says, Gabby is not going to also open up and tell them that he's been hitting her if they're making her feel like it's her fault. Very good point. She's not going to want to tell them the truth. And that's why I wish we would get the girls' body cam. What is she? What is she
called? Ranger, I think.
The Ranger, yeah, thank you. The Ranger. I wish we would have got hers, because she is the one who is talking to Gabby mostly the whole time. And that's the one body cam that I wish we would get. And unfortunately, we're not getting it, at least right now. All right, let me hit play.
So I just got a phone with one of the two witnesses, and I recorded it. Do you want me to tell you what he said real quick? Do you mind hanging with him for a minute? So, I think we'll get away from both of them. So, he said that he never saw the male strike the female. He saw the male trying to lock her out of the vehicle. She even told us that he was trying to lock her out, told her to go take a walk. Said that she was trying to get in. She eventually couldn't get in and actually clawed her way in through the driver's door. He says, I don't understand why she's doing that. Well, I think it's because it was the only door that wasn't locked that she could get through. So she's trying to get in over him. He's trying to disengage from her. I guess he hung her backpack on the back probably so she'd have her shit so that he didn't have to engage with her. Everything she's saying is the same thing. I haven't heard what he said, but if that's what he said, it's also what the witness is saying. The witness says, I never saw him hit her. I saw him shove her, but I couldn't tell if it was an aggression against her or a defense against her as far as her, being the aggressor. So at this point, unless the guy's screaming that he needs to go to jail and did something to this girl, it sounds to me like she is the primary aggressor.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with her being the primary aggressor is in incidents of domestic assault, be it a male or be it a female, we shall arrest. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they have to go to jail. We can do a citation if it meets one of three criterion, which one of them is that we can ensure that they're not going to further risk each other's safety. But the problem with that is they live in the same vehicle.
That's what I was going to say. The other part of it is
there was actually been injury too to the victim, which is him.
Right, and I'm getting conflicting stories about why they hit the curb up here.
What did he say? Why he hit the curb?
Well, I watched. This is what I saw. Saw him cross the double yellow. I was doing 42 miles an hour. I was, probably 2 car lengths behind him, tapping my wheels at him, trying to get his attention. They knew I was behind him. And then after he crossed the double yellow, he merged over into the right lane, and then out of nowhere, just boom, I hit her.
So did he tell you why?
He said that she grabbed the wheel and turned it real hard. She said that she was hitting him in the arm. So
sounds legit. I mean, I'm sure if I'm driving and my arm's on the wheel and I'm getting hit in the arm, I'm probably pulling at the wheel.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was a little of both. I mean, usually the truth is somewhere in between. He's probably trying not to say that he hit her because he probably doesn't want her charged with assault, domestic assault. He probably would rather say she pulled the wheel than hit him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, unfortunately for her, we cannot treat, just because he's bigger and stronger, even if he's not willing to press charges, we can't treat this differently than if it was a male on female violence.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to charge her. And we can do a citation if there's some arrangement that can be made to separate them. And then we have to let them know that there's no contact order in effect. Yeah. And then we have to let him know the only way to drop it is to go into the police department during business hours and fill out a waiver, which, by the way, what's today? Thursday? So it won't be till tomorrow. And they're only there till noon, I think.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he's going to want to drop it.
Well, the other part of it is they've said they've been on 4 or 5 months that they've been looking at it.
Well, this is really bad news. So let's talk to him first. Yeah. His name's Brian. Did you ask him yet and take pictures of him? Yeah. Okay. So Brian, unfortunately, in the state of Utah, we don't have discretion on some things. Like, for example, if I pull you over for speeding and I want to give you a warning, I can do that because it's under a Class A. It's a Class B or under. If I want to give you warnings for all kinds of stuff, I can. But there's a few things I can't. Like, when I say I, the police, I'm not in charge of this. One of the things that the state legislature doesn't give us discretion on is charges when it comes to a domestic assault. And it sounds like you guys are living together, so you meet the statute for domestic partners, and you do have injury, and both an independent witness, probably the next one we're going to talk to as well, which we haven't talked to yet, but the one we did talk to, and your own companion have made it clear that she was the primary aggressor and that she was striking you and that you received injuries. You haven't admitted to striking her. She has not admitted to you striking her. The witness did not see you strike her. So at this point, you're the victim.
And of course, Brian is not going to say that, yes, I did strike her. But right here, it just gets me upset because right here, they're telling him, like, you know, no witness said you striked her. And she's not saying you striked her. And you're not saying you striked her. And Brian, who knows what Brian's probably just like, yeah, you guys didn't see what I did. You know what I mean? And of course, he's not going to tell him himself.
The part that gets me fired up right here is they literally say they have to take her in because of their laws. So they were very well aware what had to happen. Somebody had to have gone to jail that day. Even if it was Gabby, they dropped the ball because what happened at the end, they let them both go. So they were going against command, you know, and they knew the law.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic assault, even if you didn't want to pursue this, we don't have a choice. The best thing we could do to not, the law says we have to charge her. It doesn't say we have to put her in jail, okay? But it also says we have to separate, do a no contact order, and then we have to put her in jail if we cannot separate. And there's a little problem here is you guys are out of Florida living in the van together. How are we supposed to separate you guys? Now, I don't want to take this small 20, what is she?
Yes, a 22-year-old
female in jail that you could definitely defend yourself against, but at the same time, we can't say because you're a male and she's a female, we can't treat this different than if you were the male hitting her. Well, we got to treat it the same.
Yeah, no.
So she's kind of in a tough spot. So unless you have an idea about how she can not go to jail and be separated, do you have friends in town? Somewhere she can stay? Tomorrow, if you want to, it's up to you. You can
go to jail?
You can't because we don't have a charge for you. Now tomorrow, if you wanted to get with her again tomorrow,
I'm gonna take your radio.
if you want to be with her again tomorrow, because it's after 5, so our office is closed, you can go to the police department and fill out a waiver to drop the no contact order, so you guys can still be together. But she's going to have a court date online in a week or two. She's going to have to show up for her court date online and answer. The prosecutor might drop it. They might say, for example, if you're not willing to pursue it, if that's your decision.
Anyway, I was going to say, it definitely is. I'm not going to pursue anything too much. My fiance, I love her. It's just a little squabble. I'm sorry that I had to get so public. So I just want to get like the checklist of things I got to do to get rid of it. So
if you want her back, well, she'll get a paper with a court date.
How do I get rid of it?
Well, the court date has to be attended in order for them to decide whether they need to continue or drop it. The first is just an initial appearance to say, are you who we think you are? Yes. Do you understand the charge that's been brought against you? Yes or no? Yes or no? The answer. Do you have an attorney? Yes or no? Do you need one? And then from there, she can ask to speak with the prosecutor. The prosecutor might be contacting you and and say, hey man, like I know she's 110 pounds soaking wet, and you're a big, strong guy, and we understand you're not even wanting to pursue this, but the cops have to follow the statute. How, like, what in the interest of you, of justice for you as a victim, what do you think? And they can decide to still prosecute her, or they can decide to drop it, or they can decide to give her a plea and make it kind of go away if she behaves from now on. But that still does not eliminate the first court appearance that she has to attend, which thankfully for you guys is going to be online, so you don't have. So if you're out of town, so here's the thing: if you're out of town and she doesn't come into her court appearance online, they can suspend her driver's license, they can issue a warrant for her. So she needs to play ball and go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And we're a team. Me and her are a team. I'm sorry about all this. I apologize again. But so she's got her online court date just to acknowledge that she's hurt, and then she's got the one for the.
Well, there's automatically right now there's something called a no contact order in place.
Yeah.
From this point forward until tomorrow, if you wish to drop it, you have to go into the 217 East Center Street, Moab City Police Department, and you have to ask them. We'll give it to you. You want to fill out a waiver that you're requesting a waiving of the contact order, the no contact order. The no contact order means she cannot come into contact with you, she cannot talk to you, she cannot text you, she cannot go onto any premises that you're occupying, she cannot go to your vehicle. And until you drop that, or until court date, if you don't drop it, it stays in effect until midnight on the day of court. And then that gives you time to get a protection.
Okay, really quick. So what he's pretty much saying is that there is going to be a no contact order until tomorrow, where Brian can go, I believe he says 217 East Center Street. So that's the police department, and then get that report. You guys, someone can Google that for me just to make sure I got it right. But from where Brian stood at the hotel, what was it, the Bowen Hotel, to the police department, let me look at my screenshot I took. I think it's not far, but if anyone wants to double check just to make sure, because I did it in a quick little, let me see what the distance would have been. So it doesn't seem, if I got it correct, and that's why I'm asking if someone could double check, 217 East Center Street, he said, that's where the police department is. That's where Brian would have to go the very next day. From where Brian would have been staying, the Bowen Motel would have been just, it looks like it's not far, a 9-minute walk. Check our PMCC with me. Okay, let me see what Ember said. Let me see. Okay, let me see.
I just don't get how they immediately called her the aggressor and just stating that she's the one that's going to get a charge and he doesn't have one. Did they not listen to the calls? Like, what? Where was it lost in translation?
Okay, so let me send this to myself. Okay, so then I can see. Let's see. So let's see. Amber sent me a screenshot from Crime Junkie Book Exchange. It says they were within 2 minutes from each other. Gabby/fiance's fight was 2 minutes from where Kylie and Crystal Turner was last seen. Am I getting the timeline right? That Gabby and her fiance were in Moab on 8/12 and got in a fight at Moonflower County Co. in Moab. Officers separated them with the fiance staying at a hotel and Gabby taking the van. Then on 8/13, Kylie and Crystal were last seen in Moab at Woody's Tavern.
That's pretty close. It's walking distance, especially.
Yeah, it's all walking. That's when in the last live I discussed. I'll share this after on the screen so you guys can see it. Let me just send it to myself. That's something that we discussed in the last live too, is all of that, Woody's Tavern, the hotel, and then what is it? Moonflower. All of that's literally in that little circle right there. It's all next to each other. And then if I'm looking at where the police station and where Brian would have been staying at the Bowen Motel, from what I see, it's only a 9-minute walk. So because at first I was thinking, well, how did he even get there? Because he would have to get there. He has to go there first, and you're going to hear it right now. He has to get that no contact order taken off before he even sees Gabby. So he would have to go see her. Go to the police station first, get that removed, and then talk to Gabby. So did he just walk there? Did he hitchhike there? Like, what did he do? We know Brian likes to hitchhike. Okay.
Weird how now that's confirmed, that he was hitchhiking.
Yeah. No, I'm going to show it though, Amber. I'll show it at the very end. We all know Brian hitchhikes. Now the distance I just thought was interesting because it only seemed like a 9-minute walk from where he would have to go.
That's pretty fast. 9 minutes walking is probably half a mile.
Yeah. I'm just seeing let me see what they're saying in the chat. Hold on. I seen a comment I wanted to address really quick. Oh yeah, Brian Kane for sure. He says, thank God for the people in the RV that accidentally caught the van in the grid. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I totally agree.
And not trying to take away from anything that Red, White, and Bethune found for the case, but there was also another woman that didn't get as much attention, and she also had pinpointed where the van was because she witnessed when the van pulled off, kind of slanted the way it did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. And that witness didn't really get much attention at all.
People thought she was lying because while she was telling her story, she said, "Oh, the FBI is calling me and I have to go." So a lot of people kind of thought she was lying, but she wasn't. She saw when it pulled off, and she said then later she saw that it was parked there for a few days, and she thought that was really suspicious.
Yeah. All right, let me hit play.
Protective order, a long-term one if you feel like you need one, but it sounds like you don't even want this one. So tomorrow, they open at 8, you can go in the police department, you can fill out the waiver, they can remove it, then you can say, hey babe, where you at? Let me pick you up. And you can pick her up. Now, we're hoping not to put her in jail, but if she doesn't have somewhere to go tonight to be separate from you, then where are we supposed to
I can't talk to her now because it's separation.
There's no contact order.
Yeah, so tell me this. Do you guys have enough money for like a hotel room or anything like that? Because what we could do is we'd cite her for this, and then I'd give her a ride over to whatever hotel you guys is choosing.
You can pick her up there tomorrow if you want to drop the no.
On your way to go pick her up, you stop over there at the PD, sign the paperwork that they're requesting, and then you can go pick her up quite literally within minutes.
Unless you know someone else in town that's a friend that she can stay with.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately not. I don't, and I guess that.
Man, I sure hate to. I don't want her to go to jail.
Will it be if she goes to jail? It's like that goes down somewhere instead of her going to a hotel, right? If you did a citation, it'd be.
It kind of depends. So if she goes to jail, they're gonna book her, and they'll take her fingerprints. And It's gonna go on her criminal history, and then if they don't convict her, then it will just show that it was dismissed. It'll show up on her criminal history, but the charge was dismissed. If she is found guilty, it'll show up as she was guilty of domestic assault. But the charge itself will show up on her criminal history until she gets it expunged. Now, even if we give her a ticket, we're still going to take a fingerprint, and it's still going to show up. Either way, it's still going to show up. There's no way around a Class A. Or is this Class B?
This is Class B.
But they do require a fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the other part is if you contact her or she contacts you, she can be charged for the Class A.
Well,
which is a little bit different, but it doesn't help us.
If you were to contact her and she responds to you, then she could get a new charge for violating the no contact order. The no contact order doesn't restrict you; it restricts her. So if you go talk to her and we find out you're not in trouble, she'll be in trouble. So it's in your interest to. Does that all make sense?
No, I'm getting it all.
It's a lot. Really quick.
No, I'm getting it all. I'm just trying to figure out a way.
You don't know anyone in town? You guys been here how long?
No, I don't know anyone in town. If she went.
She could. I don't think Sea Cave will take her where she's the aggressor. No. It is a women's shelter.
I'm curious.
You could find out. Say, hey, she doesn't have where to go.
If you did the citation, say she drove off she could drive off in this car.
We could give you a ride somewhere.
And I just want to point out too, is that we don't know, did Brian really go the very next day to get it removed? Or did they meet up and say, F it, and they seen each other that night, and they actually just was like, oh, we'll just wait for the 4th day because they're giving it to 4 days for him to not be in any contact with Gabby. It was 4 days, he said. Or were they like, we'll just wait it out after the 4th day and deal with all of it online? We really don't know. All we're doing right now is hearing what they're saying and we're just speculating on it. We don't know. I know people come in here and be like, well, Gabby wouldn't go and all this stuff, and she wouldn't go and have contact with him. We don't know. We don't know after all of this takes place. We have no idea what really happened. We know Brian gets dropped off and that's it. We don't know if there was contact between them. We don't know if she showed up there. She had the vehicle. So did she drive up there? Did she go talk with him? Did they leave there? We have no idea.
And they're basically telling him that if anybody's going to get any consequences from them meeting up, it's her, not him. And that would definitely make him want to stay with her. And I think he's proving that by, I don't have a cell phone. We don't have any money. If she could drive the van, stuff like that. I think he was trying to stay with her the entire time, like an abuser, to control what she said when she left, or control her at all so she wouldn't leave and say stuff.
And not only that, I don't know if they do it in this body cam video, but I know I think it's the other one where Brian says a comment like, oh, I was going to just message her and say, don't contact me. Like, why do you need to message her to tell her don't contact you? You know what you were doing.
Absolutely. He's a jerk.
Okay, let me hit play.
I got my backpack.
Sucks for you.
I got my backpack.
You can spend a night.
You want to drive me to Delicate Art?
Does she have a good driver's license? And
She does have a license.
you trust her with your vehicle? And
Yeah, she can handle it.
well, then you'd kind of be homeless for the night around
And
town.
I can't talk to her at all.
Well,
and I've got to do the thing, so I can't go camping.
we can tell her what it is that she needs to do to get through all this, and then let her know what your plan is.
Here's the problem, though. If we take you up to Delicate Arch, you're going to be hoofing it from Delicate Arch all the way down to Moab Center Street, so that you can fill out that paperwork. Because if you're not there by noon tomorrow,
They're
you're
closed
looking at
noon
Monday
tomorrow
morning.
because it's early out Fridays over the office. So you won't be there.
You'd be looking at Monday morning before you could actually see her again.
He said Delicate Arches, right? Does anybody offhand know the distance between the police department and there? Because they're making it seem like he would never make it by time. I guess he would have to. We're learning he'd have to be there by noon, I guess. Does anyone know the distance in driving? And I would like to know walk. Anyone? If not, I'll look it up.
I don't necessarily know, but I do, just from assuming from going to national parks, that when from the entrance of the national park to the actual structure, it's usually pretty far. And that's why I think they're trying to say, like, I don't even think you could trek it.
Yeah. Okay, let me hit play.
And again, we're not trying to make your life hard, but this is written in statute. There's nothing we can do about it. It's designed to protect victims of domestic assault. Not everybody's the same. This is different than normal, but we have to treat everything the same. And that's just how it is.
So do you think that you can't afford a hotel?
No?
Very little money we have, for sure.
Hotels are expensive here now.
You want me to? I'll call CK then.
Just see if CK will take you for the night.
I'll see if they'll take either one of them.
This is a women's shelter. Actually, CK will take him as a victim of domestic assault. CK will take you, and they will help you tomorrow.
And you're like a block and a half away from the PD.
Let's see if CK will take him, because they didn't take a guy, but they got a hotel for a guy last time.
Yeah, I'll do that.
CK might get you a hotel. Okay. Now, what she does...
I'm happy sleeping outside in a sleeping bag.
No,
so I don't need a hotel.
I think CK will get you a hotel. If you want her to have the van, we don't care. It's up to you. But there's nothing we can do about the rest.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I gotta grab my... I gotta make my little bag.
You sweating to death yet?
I think we're good.
You good? I'm going to talk to you real quick, but I've been talking so much, I got to get some water. I'll be right back. Let me grab water.
DC makes a good point, Crazy. At the end, they dropped all the charges, so they didn't have to go meet up the next day at the police department.
It's cold water. Hell yeah. Okay, Gabby, when you grow up and you're a full-grown man, this is what you'll drink from. Plus, it's ice cold, and so I'm going to drink from it. Sorry. You'll probably never be a full-grown man. Then you can do your curls. So, look, I'm going to speak to you frankly. I have a daughter almost your age, and I'm looking at you not so much like a suspect, but also as kind of a victim, in the sense that you're dealing with some struggles emotionally and mentally at your age. Probably they'll work themselves out as you get older. There's a lot of angst at your age, and I remember being your age too. And hopefully it works itself out. But the stuff you did today that contributed to this, because you.
And I just want to say this next part could be triggering for some people. I know when I rewatched it, I watched it again in the morning, and just seeing Gabby and hearing what she said is just so heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking. And I seen a comment, someone says, when you're grown up, when you're grown up acting like she is a kid. Yeah. And then DC. So wait, hold on. At the very end, like Amanda says, they didn't have to go the next day because then it was dropped. I forgot about that. Thank you for pointing that out. Rebecca says, this cop gives me the vibe like he doesn't like women, thinking he is a superior. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like immediately when he arrives, he's already, like we said in the beginning, he's already saying, what did he say? He was already, from what he had heard, Gabby was the aggressor already. So in his mind, and then talking to only one witness, it seemed like Gabby was the aggressor, and just looking at her face right now is just heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking. All right, hold on. Food Group says, cool name, Food Group. How was the 911 call not communicated? These cops are, you know what? That's the only thing it kind of does bother me that this officer arrives there, takes the time to talk to one of the witnesses, but not the second. That does bother me right there. Okay, let me hit play.
Something was lost in translation.
Oh, for sure. Something definitely was lost.
Both contributed to this is as a result of your inability to cope with the anxiety and the stress that you're having. So in a way, you're kind of a victim of this. I think you would have done better if you had the skills to do better. But you don't learn skills until you learn skills, and you don't have enough life experience yet to know how to navigate everything. Like I don't either, but I can navigate what happened. If I was in your shoes, I could handle it different because I'm 39 years old. I've been through it. But I've got a lot of life lessons to learn still because I'm like my dad and my grandpas, they know stuff I don't know, right? They can do stuff I don't know. So in a way, I'm just letting you know that we sympathize with you. But based on what you've said and based on what our witness has said, and even based on what your fiance has mentioned, trying his very hardest not to have you in any trouble, he does have marks on him that witnesses say were caused by you slapping him. And that even you say you slapped him and were aggressing him first. And I don't have anyone saying that he actually punched you aggressively. It sounds like it was shoving in a manner that was probably more consistent with trying to prevent you from entering the van or to get space from you, not to assail you. Does that make sense? So if the tables were turned and he was beating on you and you were shoving him, of course we're going to look at it like, oh, of course she's defending herself to get away from this guy. Well, we're
And I just want to say her face right here, listening to him, just reminds me, like, I wonder what she's thinking here, because obviously Brian slapped her. Brian was touching her. And in all this conversation right here, he's saying, it's not like he did this. It's not like he did that. He didn't do this. And I just keep looking at her and I'm wondering, what is she thinking? And I'm trying to put myself in her place. I know I've been through a relationship like this. So it's just so heartbreaking.
I'm also sure that nowhere in the law it says if they slap you first, if you slap them first, it's your fault. And if anything comes after that, it doesn't matter. That's bull.
Ugh.
I'm on my own. So I was saying, let's just go for a walk. And she was trying to get the keys for me, so I was just going, just wait back up. And that's when she hit me. And I didn't get, I don't want to push you, but I didn't get really physical. I was just trying to keep her away and not get hit. And then I got really loud and I just like, there was tension where I was going, back up, get away, just get me.
Okay, so you said you pushed her to create some distance, obviously, right? What happened after that? What got distracted?
okay, Google.
Hold on, because my mind is fried right now. In the first body cam, Amanda, do you remember it ever getting talked about from the officer on scene that a slap happened? I know we heard the call, but do we know that got told to the officer on the one that was on there on the first scene? Do you know? I can't remember the first body cam right now.
I can't be too sure if it was told on the call or if that was the first thing Brian told them.
Remember the call, the
very beginning
witness call. No, the witness call where he says that he's seen Brian slapping the girl. Remember?
Yeah, it is at the beginning.
But in the first body cam video, is that put out there that officer is aware of it, of Brian slapping? I'm trying to think right now.
I'm unsure, but to be honest with you, I don't think so, because I remember feeling like, oh no, Gabby's to blame when the first time we watched it.
Okay.
Police, how are you? Hey, we got this van stopped, and we've separated the male and the female, and we got both of their stories. Now that we're not looking for them so intensely, I was just wondering if you had a minute to just kind of repeat to me what it is exactly you saw.
No problem, sir. Yeah.
I decided to give her a plea and make it kind of go away if she behaves from now on. But that's...
Did I just totally rewind it? I did. Hold on. Where were we at? So we're right. And let's try this. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I totally rewinded it. Okay, and they're back talking to Brian. I think right here. Hold on. I just want to make sure. Hold on. Okay, they talk to her now right here. Let me see. Tell me if I should go more forward. Hold on. Let's see.
They're at the PD, sign the paperwork that they're requesting, and then you can go pick her up quite literally within minutes.
Unless you know someone else in town that's a friend that she can stay with.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. I don't, and I guess that...
Man, I sure hate to... I don't want her to go to jail.
Will it be... If she goes to jail, it's like... that goes down somewhere instead of her going to a hotel, right? If you did a citation, it would be...
It kind of depends. So if she goes to jail, they're going to book her, and they'll take her fingerprints. It's going to go on her criminal history, and then if they don't convict her, then it will just show that it was dismissed. It will show up on her criminal history. The charge was dismissed. If she is found guilty, it will show up as she was guilty of domestic assault. But the charge itself will show up on her criminal history until she gets it expunged. Now, even if we give her a ticket,
Can I go forward more?
it's still going to take a fingerprint, and it's still going to show up. Either way, it's still going to show up. There's no way around a Class A. Or is this Class B?
This is Class B.
But they do require a fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
The other part is if you contact her or she contacts you, she can be charged for the Class A.
Well,
which is a little bit different, but it doesn't help the same.
If you were to contact her and she responds to you, then she could get a new charge for violating the no contact order. The no contact order doesn't restrict you, it restricts her. So if you go talk to her and we find out you're not in trouble, she'll be in trouble. So it's in your interest.
Yeah, they had already talked to her.
No,
you have to give her where they're
really quick.
talking to her.
I'm getting I'm just trying to figure out a way.
You don't know anyone in town? You guys been here how long?
She is like
You trust her with your vehicle? And
yeah, she can handle it.
Well, then you'd kind of be homeless for the night around town.
And I mean, I can't talk to her at all.
Well,
and I've got to do the thing, so I can't go camping.
We can tell her what it is that she needs to do to get through all this, and then let her know what your plan is.
Here's the problem, though. If we take you up to Delicate Arch, you're going to be hoofing it from Delicate Arch all the way down to Moab Center Street, so that you can go out there in the van or to get space from you, not to assail you. Does that make sense? So, if the tables were turned and he was beating on you and you were shoving him, of course we're going to look at it like, oh, of course she's defending herself.
That's
to get away
good.
from this guy. Well, we're kind of looking at the same way with him, and we have to treat both fair, even if he's a bigger male and you're a smaller female. the law doesn't say, hey, Officer Pratt and Officer Robbins, you can treat people different based on gender under the same. So we can't. Even if it makes no sense that because you probably could not physically destroy this man the way that he could if he attacked you, we can't treat you different, okay? So all that long-windedness I'm giving you right now is leading up to the fact that if I pull someone over for speeding, I have the right to give them a warning. I have something called officer discretion. But in the legislature in Utah, they have made a law that if we have a domestic assault, they don't trust the police to make good decisions because too many cops have made bad decisions. So they say, we're not going to give you discretion. We're going to write a law that says if you have a domestic assault, whether it's male on female or female on male, whoever the primary aggressor is has to be charged. No choice. You don't get to give them a warning. It doesn't even matter if they're barely hurt at all and the guy doesn't want to press charges or the girl doesn't want to press charges. We don't have a choice. We literally have no choice. He does not want to press charges. He says, you guys are a team. He says, you're his fiance. He says, he loves you. He says, he doesn't want anything to happen. But we're explaining to him that we don't have any choice in this. So we're trying to get a local victims advocacy group called Seek Haven to get him a hotel for the night so that you can have the van, because they won't give you the hotel because you're the one who is the primary aggressor. So they're going to consider him the victim. So they're going to get him a hotel. So he wants you so that you don't have to go to jail, because the only thing we can do is take you to jail. He says, well, so she doesn't have to go to jail, then I will accept Seek Haven's help if they'll give me a hotel, and then she can have the van so she doesn't have to go to jail. She can just have a ticket. When you get the ticket, it's going to give you a phone number to call, and they're going to give you a court date, and that court date will probably be online.
I have to come back to Utah?
No, it'll be online.
Oh.
You have a smartphone?
Yeah.
So you can. I go to court. You're okay.
Sorry, I've never heard of this. I didn't know this was in
When
Utah.
COVID happened, they switched all the court from in person to online. So when I go to court now,
I have a ticket for hitting the curb or something, please, because we're okay. Like, where does it?
I understand, but we don't have any, like. Listen, if I had any discretion in this, I would separate you guys for the day and just give you warnings to stop hitting each other. But I lawfully don't have discretion here. I don't have any.
Because somebody said something, like a witness said something.
There's two witnesses, and then there's.
It's interesting that she brings that up right now. Is it because somebody said something? And he says there's two witnesses. So if Gabby is thinking about, did someone say something? Is this why we're in the situation? Just imagine what Brian is thinking about. Why is this happening? Who said this? I think it's interesting. She did point that out right there.
I also want to point out the amount of water that she's drinking, because he was controlling their water source, saying they could only get spring water from the national park. And she was so thirsty that she didn't even care that she was drinking out of plastic water bottles right here.
Mm-hmm.
What you said, he said, and guess what? It all matches nicely that you were the primary aggressor and that the injuries he has were caused by your aggression towards him. Even if he doesn't feel hurt, even if he doesn't want to press charges, there's nothing any cop can do about it. It's written into the law.
I know, but I don't.
Normally we take people to jail, but he's trying to work it so you can just have the van. Tomorrow,
I don't want to be separated.
You can have anxiety?
Yeah, no, we're a team, please.
There's no, what is it?
No, like, we're a team, please. It's gonna give me so much anxiety. Can we just have like a driving ticket?
Okay, the very best thing I can do is call my supervisor and see if I'm missing something here.
Because I'll pay any driving ticket, a parking ticket, anything.
Hey, Gabby,
Gabby,
try to calm down, and I'm gonna go call a supervisor. But I don't think that there's much I can.
What is she so concerned about besides the parking ticket in the, like right now? What did she say? I couldn't understand.
She said that they're a team and to please not separate them. And I honestly feel like, I mean, this is just guessing. I feel like he made her feel like she couldn't drive the van. She even questions it at the end. Like, how far do I have to drive? Because I don't think she was very good at driving the van. And that's something that a guy can make you feel, especially the guy, can make you feel dumb about. Like, oh, you can't drive the van. So I think right here, she's begging them to not separate them because she's afraid of driving. And she's saying, can't you just give me a ticket or something? We're a team.
Sorry, I was choking to death. Yeah.
Also, she knows that he's going to be abusive after this and blame her for having made a scene.
And then if he would get the parking ticket, if he would get the ticket, I think she's so concerned about that right now because that's what she's mostly focused on, because she knows, and the victim knows, that she's going to have to deal with Brian afterwards. Like, he's going to flip that on her and blame her for all of this happening with the ticket. So I think that's why she's so concerned about that right here. And that's what Lisa said. She's probably too scared to get, oh, no, wait. No, there was another one that Lisa said. Where did it go, Lisa? Hold on. I think it's screwed up, but I think that's what pretty much Lisa had said in her comment. I just seen, but it went too quick. Donna says it's so upsetting seeing her. Yeah, it's very upsetting, and I can't even imagine how her family felt. And one thing that in the Peacock, try saying that 5 times, Amanda, the special that they did about Gabby, and they had the family on there, they talked a little bit about the body cam video and stuff like that. And I think Gabby's stepdad said, he said, or maybe her dad said, they couldn't even watch the whole thing. Like, they couldn't watch it. I don't know how.
It was her dad. It was her dad.
Her dad, yeah, he couldn't even watch it. Alexis, mind control, exactly. DC said, did he make her think they were a team? Could it be alone? Don't get the team thing. Yeah, I didn't get that either. And it's funny because it never stuck out before until I listened to it this morning again, and it just stuck out to me. I don't know why. I don't know. Okay.
Also, I'd like to point out that after this, he leaves her to go back to Florida. So he knew that him leaving would give her anxiety, and to the point where she had to stay in a hotel as opposed to just staying in the van while he was gone.
Mm-hmm. Very true. And then again, another thing too, I was thinking about when he does, she so does not want to be separate from him, and then he just flies out and leaves her there. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. The whole storage part just doesn't sit right with me. It just makes so many questions. I have so many questions when it comes to that. All right, let me hit play.
But let me see if the supervisor can tell me something I'm missing to make this not happen.
I couldn't handle that. I'm sorry.
Okay. Just give me a minute, okay? You don't have to sit out in the hot sun unless you want. Okay. Thanks.
And another question too I have while he's drinking his water because he's so dehydrated, is that, okay, so when Gabby is separated from Brian, I just wonder, and that's one reason I watched the special that aired with the family. I wanted to see if they talked about this incident, and I wonder, did Gabby call anybody after this? That when she was in the van, like, did she call her mom, her dad, a friend? I don't know. I wonder, who did she talk to after this? Because so far, no one's come forward to say, yeah, I spoke with her on August 12th at the evening. Even if Gabby, not saying Gabby pretty much said what happened, because usually you don't, a victim usually doesn't want people to know, especially their loved ones, because they know the loved ones obviously are going to get upset. But usually they don't tell their loved ones about the abuse they're going through. One, either you're so ashamed that you are in this situation, or 2, you don't realize how serious the situation you're actually in yet. It's kind of just barely getting to the worst, because sometimes with abusive relationships, it doesn't always go from 0 to 100 overnight. It doesn't start with a guy literally beating you. It starts with, most of the time, well, I don't want to say most of the time. In my situation, I'm just going to say, it started with mind control. It started with him putting me down constantly. Anything I tried to do that was trying to be better in my own life, he made it seem like that was a negative. Me trying to further myself in schooling. Oh, you're what? Like, just try to put me down over it. I got a new job, put me down over it. And then it starts getting, and then you start questioning all these own things in your own mind, and you automatically start blaming yourself for everything and thinking you can't really do anything. And then it starts getting to pushing, then maybe even pushing you against the wall, choking you. Then it gets more serious into it could be hitting you, but nowhere where, not the face, because that's obviously going to get you bruises and people are going to see it. Then it gets to a point where it's just so out of control. There is just no hiding it. And unfortunately, thank God I got out of it right away. But, you know, it doesn't always go to, though, like 0 to 100. You know what I mean? And I just can't help and wonder on the night of the 12th, did Gabby talk to anybody? No one's come forward yet. And even in the documentary, I was wondering, did she call her mom that evening, even if she didn't tell her? I mean, I don't know, just who did she talk to? It makes me wonder if she did hook up again with Brian. And not only that, in the first body cam, I think it's in the first one, Gabby's on the phone with her family, isn't she?
I think she pretended to make a call. As DC was saying up above, her mom is adamant that she didn't talk to her. Her dad is adamant he didn't talk to her. Rose didn't talk to her. And she's saying maybe if she called somebody, maybe it was Roberta.
Interesting. Very interesting. Or even maybe the sister.
You know, she lived with them. So
Yeah.
it could be very well possible that she confided in them. And I hate to bring this up, but I've always felt like when he went back to Florida and he didn't take her, it reminded me very much of the Watts case towards the end, where he went to North Carolina and he went to go spend the day with his parents. And it almost feels like that's kind of when everything took a turn, when they, you know, quote unquote, brainwashed him or talked him into thinking that she was the abusive one, to a point where he left a note saying that she was the abusive one. And if anything were to happen, that it was her. That's kind of how I feel. That's why I feel he went over there without her. Why leave her knowing that you guys are dependent on each other? And then, you know, I feel like his parents definitely knew something beforehand, obviously, with the way they reacted once it did happen.
And Logan says that she made $60,000 a year 25 years ago, and she still didn't leave her abuser. I didn't need him financially, she says. He just convinced her she was worthless without him, and she stayed 11 years. Excuse me, guys.
I've heard people stay for, you know, people stay with deadbeat baby daddies just because they're trauma bonded. And I didn't necessarily mean baby daddies, but like boyfriends, husbands, so on and so forth. And same with wives. Scott Dubois, as a man, says, you know, he was embarrassed. Like what the cop said, what are we going to say? A little girl beat you up? You know, violence happens from both male and females in relationships.
I agree. Sorry, guys, I was choking. I had to go grab water. All right, let me hit play. Scott says, I'm okay. I just stopped relationshiping completely. Why, Scott? I missed the beginning. Oh, wait. There's one thing Gabby's dad said right before she went missing. They were both trying to fix. Let me get to that comment. Sorry. Amanda, did you see Scott's? Oh, never mind. I got it. There's one thing Gabby's dad said right before she went missing. They were both trying to fix her website's email problem, and he had no idea what he was doing. Wonder if she sent something. What do you mean, Scott? Or maybe, Amanda, you understand that comment. I remember the dad saying he did help Gabby, and something about the email. Oh, that Gabby didn't understand it? Is that what you're saying, Scott?
Gabby didn't understand. He was saying that he was helping her out. He probably could have sensed that she was stressing out, and we don't know if he sent the pizza. I'm sorry. We do know that he sent the pizza when she was by herself. So he knew that she couldn't fend for herself, I think. And I still think that she would have hid the fact that her and Brian were having issues. But I mean, I'm sure her dad was wondering, why is he in Florida and why are you alone?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Gabby would have told her family. And I wonder if Gabby even, you know, realized the severity of her situation with Brian. Because sometimes when you got to remember, she's so young. Think about when you were young. You know, you don't realize the relationship is that bad sometimes. I don't know how to, it's like you downplay it, or I don't know. I wonder if it was in the beginning of the stages of the extreme of physical abuse. Do you know if that makes sense? Like, I think the mind control and all that has been happening. But the actual physical, what we hear now, I wonder how long prior to this had that been going on, if it had.
From what I know from people from Northport, it had happened before, that they had issues beforehand. I don't know to what extent, but I have heard that they were on and off, and that they weren't necessarily even together when they took their first road trip. They went as friends, and then it blossomed into a relationship, which is, I don't know, that sounds like something out of convenience. But I do want to add that Scott clarified that no, her dad said he had no idea what he was doing and that she would have known that. So maybe she was just, I mean, he didn't say this, but maybe she was just using him for a crutch.
Oh, okay, I see. Probably. I mean, we don't know, but. Oh, clarification. Brian had no idea what he was doing. Broken dishes is saying. Hold on. There was a comment. Hold on. And Amber, yeah, she was also trying to get on the 12th. Remember, she was trying to set up everything for her the YouTube, her website. And remember, in the other body cam, Gabby makes a statement that Brian had said something like, what did she say?
He doesn't think I could do it.
Yeah, that was so alarming to me. I was like, typical abuser right there, saying something like that.
In fact, one of the reasons he was upset that day was because Gabby had taken so long at the
coffee shop
using the Wi-Fi at the coffee shop. He was probably just like, "Why are you doing this?" And one thing that abusers don't want you to do is broadcast them. I personally think that he was fighting for her phone because she was trying to document what he was doing, and that's why he was trying so hard to get it from her, and why she attacked him when he did get it. That was her only lifeline.
And another thing too, with hearing how Gabby was like attacking him and stuff like that. Another thing I was thinking about too, when you're in that type of relationship too, you get to a point where you're just frustrated. You're frustrated and you react and you fight back. And I'm wondering too, because he had her phone, if she just was, it's probably not the first time he had done that. And locking her out of the van is definitely not the first time he's done that. And she might have just been like, frustrated at that point, and she reacted. And then she ends up being the one that looks crazy. She ends up being the one who's the aggressor. And it's just so heartbreaking to see all of it unfold like that.
He literally took her backpack out of the van and hung it somewhere else so he could let her to walk it off. Like, where are you exactly going to let her walk it off at? Of course she's going to be fearful of him leaving her behind.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me hit play.
Hey, so a tiny little girl, 22 years old, slapped her boyfriend, her fiance, several times. He's got a little bit of a little tiny abrasion on his chin, on his jaw. They got into a van and drove off. He got called in by there's one caller and then a witness. Got them stopped. The story from the witnesses matches the story from the female, matches the story to the male. She was pissed off. She's having a rough day. He tries to separate from her. She's not staying away from him. She has severe anxiety problems. He locks her out of the van, says, "You need to go for a walk and cool off." She's forcing her way into the van. She's clawing her way past him into the van to be with him. He's shoving her to get her out of the van, but he's not assaulting her or he's not assailing her. He's trying to keep her out. She's punching, slapping, everything. She's got to be 105 pounds soaking wet, 22, full of anxiety, having a really tough time. Not making excuses, but I mean, it is written in the code. We do have a domestic assault here. He's not wanting to pursue it. He's very adamant. He does not want to pursue it. We're explaining we don't have any discretion on these things. We're giving him a no contact. We're letting Seek Haven see if they can get him a hotel so she can have the van so that we don't have to put her in jail. She's really struggling with the idea of being alone and not with him and not having the van. They want to be together. I told her, look, there's not anything I can do. This is all written into freaking statute. I just said the last thing I can do is call a supervisor and see if where this is such a minor. There's like a slap fight and the injury is from a fingernail. I just don't know if it's worth the domestic thing or not, or if it's going to get us in trouble if we don't do it this way.
Sounds like they knew better.
Well, they don't want to, but I told them that unless I get some kind of permission some other way, I'm pretty sure this is just statute and that we have to separate you.
And I'd hate to call law enforcement lazy, but a lot of times they don't want to do this because of the
As
paperwork.
far as the domestic assault charge, what do you think about that? Well, I mean, do the whole thing or not? But is there a way to not do anything on something like this? I mean, it's so minor. It's hard to say, right? I'm going to go reread the statute and just see if it fits or if there's a way it doesn't fit. And if I can find a way that, because it really is this, the spirit of the law is being lost on this one. It really is. So let me see what I can find. And if nothing else, then we'll have to separate him whether she likes it or not. All right, thanks. All right, bye. Thanks. Bye. Bodily injury means physical pain, illness, or any impairment of physical condition. So let's see. He's not ill. He doesn't have an impairment of physical condition. And if he's not in pain, like how far do you want to go with this? Like, you know why the domestic assault code is there? It's there to protect people, especially the reason why they don't give us discretion on these things is because too many times women who are at risk want to go back to their abuser. They just wanted him to stop and they don't want to have to be separated. They don't want him charged. They don't want him to go to jail. And then they end up getting worse and worse treatment, and then they end up getting killed. Mm-hmm. In no way, shape, or form that I can perceive does what happened here, a little slap fight between fiancés who love each other, want to be together, can I perceive that this is going to digress into the situation where he's going to be a battered man?
Right.
But then again, I don't have a crystal ball. So I was looking at talking to the assistant chief to see if there's any way to just go less than than the full force domestic assault route.
Right.
And he says, look, I mean, you either go all the way or you don't. And it's like, okay, but under what circumstances can I not? And really the only time I cannot is if it doesn't fit. If it fits, then it's in the law, then you have to do it. So I went and I looked at the code for assault, because this is an assault enhanced with domestic assault. Utah Code, assault. Now, you and I both know what it is, but think of how valuable it is to look it up and read it word for word, especially when what you're doing is going to get evaluated by a court who cares a lot about words. Words are there for a reason. Assault is an attempt with unlawful force or violence to do bodily injury to another. So did she attempt to do bodily injury to him?
She went to smack him.
Was it her intention to do him bodily injury? Now, that's what we have to find out, because it says bodily injury is that by definition, physical pain, illness, or any impairment of physical condition.
Well, he's got a swollen right eye.
We don't care what the result was. We care about the intent.
So we got to go find intent.
If she did not intend to cause him pain or illness or to cause him impairment of physical condition.
Was it intent and attempt, or intent or attempt?
When you're attempting to do something, you have to intend to do it.
True.
If I attempt to get a basketball through a hoop, I have to intend to do it. Intent is implicit with attempt.
Right.
Okay, so what was her intent? What was her intention? If you go ask her, what was your intention when you were slapping him? And she says, I wanted him to hurt or be ill or impair his physical condition, then there's nothing we can do.
Okay.
One way to word it might be, hey, when you slapped him, were you intending to cause him physical pain? And let's get rid of illness because that has nothing to do with it. Physical pain or impairment of his physical condition. Is that your intention? Is that what you were attempting to do? That's what it says right here, an attempt.
Right.
Were you attempting to cause him pain or an impairment of physical condition? Whatever she answers to that question will seal her fate. Because the only way you know what she was attempting to do is by asking her.
Right.
Set it up right. Set it up just right.
That's how people love someone that way.
Gabby, this is a very, very important question. How you answer this question is going to determine what happens next. But the only person who can answer this question is you.
Okay.
Think very hard before you answer the question. Do not quickly answer it. Think very hard. When you slapped him those times, were you attempting to cause him physical pain or physical impairment? Was that what you were attempting to do to him?
No.
What were you attempting to do? What was the reason behind the slapping and stuff? What was it you were attempting to accomplish by slapping?
I was trying to get him to stop telling me to calm down.
Well, it doesn't sound to me like she attempted to injure him. It's your call. This is 100% your call. I support you either way.
Can't say that she openly admitted to me earlier that she was striking him in the arm. He said that she was striking him in the arm. He said she was, and that's what caused him to get hurt. She said that she grabbed her. I might have too much stuff probably.
No, she said that too, but she started distracting him by hitting him, and then he probably looked at her, and that's why the mark is on the window side. And she said it was her fault that he swerved because she was distracting him by hitting him. But she said she didn't try to hurt him, it wasn't malicious. She thought that he wasn't listening to her.
So assault is an attempt with unlawful force or violence to do bodily injury to another. The code for bodily injury, the definition says, bodily injury is infliction of pain or physical impairment or illness. So you can go this now. I'm recording, and society and the judges and everyone can judge me for this. I am looking at a 110-pound female and her fiance who have no means to be separated. He doesn't want to pursue it. She's not a threat to him, more than slight abrasions from her fingernails. I don't care if we use the actual letter of the law to not charge, but I also don't care because it literally does possibly make perfect sense to go full-on domestic assault and do the whole thing. This is your opportunity to make the decision.
Let's do this.
I support you either way.
Let's do this. Taking your advice, let me do a crime report on this. Won't charge right now. Won't cite her for it right now. We'll send it off to the county attorney. City attorney. Send it off to the city attorney. Let them screen it and make a decision.
If you send it to the city attorney and they strongly disagree with your decision and they throw a complete fit, you might hear about it in a very negative way.
Right.
So I would make a decision yourself.
I'd rather be dinged for a decision I made than a decision I didn't make.
Especially if they think you were completely negligent in your decision. Why give it to them? The only reason to give it to them is if you're not sure if you have enough for something and you want them to decide if they have enough. So I support you. I'm not joking. If we need to go all the way to jail or whatever we need to do, all the way down to.
Your ears out.
Go ahead. I better go on that. You got this?
I'm making this decision. I'm going to cite him. I'm going to go follow through the process.
Would you feel more comfortable handling that guy?
Yeah.
Go handle that guy.
Go handle that guy?
Go handle that guy. Okay. If you're more comfortable.
Well, it's 6 one way, half dozen the other.
It's up to you.
I mean, it's a headache whether I go left or it's a headache whether I go right.
Another option is to not charge them, but separate them for the night. If they find themselves together again, what is it to you? You separated them. You provided for his safety. If he doesn't have enough sense to stay away and you got him separated, it's on him.
Yeah, babysit them all night unless I put her in jail, so it's up to them and how whatever.
You can separate them and say, don't let this go off till tomorrow. If they don't let it go off and we hear about it, we'll hear about it.
They're camping in the park tonight, we'll let you know.
And if there's some fighting going on, you already was Mr. Nice Guy. You already gave him a chance. What you can't do by law is separate someone and say, if we hear from you again, we're going to arrest one of you. Because then if one of them really needs help, they may not call police and get help. The law says you cannot, literally, you may not say, if we get more problems with you guys tonight, one of you is going to jail. You can't threaten them like that. If it's true, because it will stop someone from wanting to call the police to get help. Does that make sense?
Right.
So go full or nothing or in between and separate them and kind of give them the nod, the wink, like, hey, just stay separated. It's up to you. I'm going to go handle that. You got very capable help with you here, and I trust you. All right. Call me if you have any problems. SOTT, I'll separate. I'll be en route to that and talk to you now. I just want to say thank you guys for helping us. Appreciate you. You too.
And that's where that one ends. Sorry, I left the banner on too long. I just seen the comment. So what are you guys thinking? Let me go to my chat now. Let me take this off. Okay, let's see. Let's remove this from the screen since this one is where it ended. Give me a second, guys. Okay, let me get to my comments now. So what do you guys think about all of this? So this was the second one. This isn't the first one. Remember, the first one takes Brian all the way to the motel, the Boeing motel. This one ends here. Claire says, I think the cops are at the end. One tells Gabby to go get a wash. I don't think he meant it badly, but Gabby must have been broken. Yeah. Oh, you could totally tell Allie from the body cam that she totally looked broken. Totally looked broken. And only that, knowing what, Brian did strike her and just how Brian was portrayed as the victim, how that must have made her also feel. I'm going to scroll up to look at some of the comments. Hold on. So let's think about this timeline. So some stuff we do know is that on August 12th, this incident happened in front of Moonflower Co. Kylie worked there. She was working that day. We learned that she actually did witness, her and Crystal did witness the argument that happened, that took place. And per Sean Paul, he said that that they seen a male punching a female. So that's what they actually witnessed. And then Brian gets taken to the Boeing Motel. We do not know for sure. We know that where Gabby actually stood. She could have left and went to the hotel. We don't know what actually happened. We have learned now that on the 13th, that Kylie and Crystal go to Woody's with two friends. They meet up there. And now we're learning that there was a young couple that was there and they played pool with. It seems like they mentioned Crystal's name more. So play pool with this young couple. Who is this young couple? Everybody wants to know. How come they've never come forward yet? I do understand people go there and leave, but so far we don't know who that was. Crystal leaving. This is also where Crystal and Kylie tell their friends about this creeper dude at their campsite. And leaving Woody's, Crystal yells out that if anything, yells out where they're going to be actually camping, which I don't understand why she would yell that out. They go to their friend's house after that. And they're there, I think, a little bit. I'm not sure if it was a little bit over an hour, but they would be back at their campsite a little after midnight is what we're learning. So that would be the 14th. Another thing I thought was interesting is that we're learning is that the friends that they actually went to her house, that after Woody's, she wanted them to actually stay at her house. She was like pleading with them, just stay here because of this creeper dude. And it was probably late. So she's like, just stay here. But they actually left their bunny at the campsite. So of course they wanted to go back because of their bunny. And they were planning on moving campsites. Now here's the thing that I'm like, let's see if we could talk it through really quick. If like, why would they leave their bunny there if the creeper was there at that moment? It makes me wonder when they left there if the creeper dude wasn't there when they left. Because I just, they were, the bunny was like their baby. They took the bunny everywhere is what's being stated by family. So I'm just wondering, was a creeper there? That I just think was a creeper there when you guys left to go to Woody's, because if he was there, I just can't picture an animal lover. I'm just thinking that's your baby, that's your bunny, leaving the bunny there with this creeper dude, not knowing what he might do. So that makes me believe that he wasn't there when the women left to Woody's that day.
I always felt like I had an idea, and this is just an idea, that they were camping amongst friends. When you're doing van life, you get to meet the people around you. That's kind of who you use as a safeguard. And I feel if they did leave their bunny behind, it was maybe because there was other people there staying throughout the day and they just didn't want to coop it up in the van all day. But that's a very good point. Why would they leave it where somebody creepy was? But you think somebody creepy is coming for you, not necessarily for your bunny. So I think that's probably where their decision was made.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like, would I leave my animal there? I don't know. I'm just wondering, would I leave? Makes me wonder if the creeper was there. And not only that, if he was there, because they said they were planning on moving campsite. And this is another thing that we don't know. Did they actually get to move before that? Like, did he follow them to their new spot? But when they get back there, it would be pitch black there. And then how they were found, were they sleeping? Which makes me also think, what if when the creeper wasn't there, kind of makes me wonder if he wasn't there when they left to Woody's and Crystal screamed out, where they're actually going to be staying. What if someone was there? We don't know, you guys. What if someone was at Woody's? What if someone was there and then they went to where they were camping and waited for the women to come back. I mean, I don't know. We don't really, this case is driving me nuts. I feel like the more things we learn, the more I deep dive into everything. And then I think I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm leaning towards this. And then something else just hits a wall. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm driving myself nuts with this one case.
One of the things that really bothered me was immediately after people started questioning if there was a Moab connection, they're like, no, there's no connection. We verified there's no connection. They didn't even know where Brian was. They didn't even know where Gabby was. How could they have verified that there was no connection?
Exactly. And another thing, you make a good point, because they, Grand County, I believe it was this, when was it? They come out saying they're looking into it. I can't remember the exact date. They release a statement on their Facebook, and they tell everybody, we're looking into the connection into, missing Gabby, the missing Gabby Petito case, and what happened in Moab. And the very next day it's released, there's no connection, no explanation what or why they're saying that. It was like, there's no connection, and everybody went with that. And they're like, there's no connection. Brian doesn't own a gun, is what I hear everybody telling me in my chat comment section. When I said I thought it was a possible connection, everyone attacked me, saying Brian doesn't own a gun. He doesn't own a gun, and the women were killed with a gun and all this stuff. Well, guess what? We learned that Brian actually had access to multiple guns because his family owned multiple guns, not just one. And then we learned that one was missing when he gets back, of course. But two, I wonder too, Brian and Gabby are young. They're traveling across, across the world, traveling everywhere on this trip. And if Brian had access to the gun, I'm just wondering, why not take a gun for protection? You're going to be out camping, just you're young, your girlfriend, fiance. And did he take a gun for protection?
I mean, the guy took a hammock so he could go use a hammock. Why wouldn't he take a gun for possibly hunting as well, not just their protection? I completely agree. And I think it's a little bit weird to say that for a fact he didn't, when we now know for a fact that they did have access to firearms.
Yeah, and not only that, and another thing that people immediately came out and was saying was that Kylie, she left work early that day. She didn't witness nothing, and people just were so quick to dismiss it. And even if you thought, well, how do we know? And you try to even have that conversation, people attacked you for it. Just like kind of with the Chris Watts case, when you tried in the very beginning, early stages of it all, if you even said Nicole Kessinger might have been connected, you got so attacked for it. Of course, now people think all kinds of things with it. But with this case, though, now we learn, what are we learning now? That Kylie and Crystal actually witnessed it. And yes, Kylie was out of work. I think her shift was at 2:30, what I read on the timeline, if I'm correct. But one thing Sean Paul shared with us was that, a lot of times the women would stay afterwards in that area. They would park right there and they would stay there, and they didn't leave immediately. And it seems like that's exactly what happened. Crystal went, got her, and they chilled there. And now we're learning they actually witnessed it. And they witnessed Brian punching Gabby. Not just an argument, him punching her. And that blows my mind right there. So it seems like we're learning these little more connections that in the beginning it was like, nope, no way. And it's like, how can you say that so fast? And now there's this young couple. How come in Woody's statement that he put out, the owner, and this is something that I talked about last time, he said that he reviewed the surveillance from that day, and from the moment they walked in to the moment they left, and in between, he said, that's his own, what he wrote up, and he didn't see anybody interacting with them. So now we're learning Crystal was playing pool with a young couple. There's a young couple now involved. How come that is not shown on survey? Like, I don't understand. Like, there's so many questions when it comes to this case that I'm trying to figure out. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how is it surveillance didn't show them interacting with other people? And how come the people waitressing that day didn't see this interaction? Like,
you can't convince me that they were at a cafe and they didn't talk to the cashier at the cafe.
Yeah, and I know going to a bar when you shoot pool, I've done that plenty of times. I know if it's packed, you're not going to notice a lot of things, okay, when it's packed. But looking at the surveillance, I'm just wondering, it didn't look too packed to me looking at the surveillance, that the little short clip we seen. And it's such a small town. Another thing, I just feel like if you live there, you work there, you notice people. I just feel like you're in a small town. Come on, how many people are you going to get in there? And how is it no one has come forward till now? We're learning, and we don't even know who actually is the one that's saying this young couple. I would love to know who exactly is saying this young couple was actually playing pool with Crystal. And how come no one talked about that before? And my conspiracy mind is just rolling with this. And I'm thinking, what if that was Brian and Gabby? What if it comes out they were there and they were there?
They clearly had a huge blowout right after leaving the cafe. I'm going to go ahead and say, critically thinking, they probably were arguing inside of the cafe, much like they were at the Three Pigs. I have a feeling that brought up a lot more attention than they're making it out to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And then again, another thing now that we learned about Brian, this is something I said last time about Brian taking his own life. I know some people obviously still believe he's still alive. But when are we going to learn about what type of gun was used? Brian, when he took his own, when are we going to learn that? Right. I mean, that would, and I know some people will say, even if it turns out it's not the gun, it's not a 9mm, because we know that that's what the women were killed with. I heard someone else saying he still had access to other guns. I don't know. I want to know what type of gun Brian used. That's what I want to know.
I bet his parents know what kind of gun he had.
Oh, I know. I just feel like as a gun owner, you know your guns. I'm sorry. You do. You know what you have. I don't know. And I'm just like, oh, one gun's missing. What gun is it? How come no one's talking about what type of gun? We don't even know what type of gun was missing. They won't say. I don't know.
Yeah, they kept everything pretty close to the chest when it came to their son, but they had no reason throwing Gabby out to the wolves.
I don't know, but I'm gonna wrap it up because it's already 2:30 and I know kids get out. So let me turn my camera on. Amanda, you want to turn your camera on?
Sure.
Hopefully we're not too blurry. Look at Amanda. She looks so pretty. I love your sweater, by the way.
Thank you. Stranger Things.
And look at her hair. It looks amazing. She just did her hair. I can never get my hair like that. My hair is so dark. But yeah. Let me see some of these comments. Allie says, yeah, Kylie was beautiful. Anyone would notice her, I'm sure. And another thing that the owner in Woody's, in the statement he put out from Woody's, that's one thing he said, that the women were very affectionate towards one another, very loving. And I'm just wondering if someone noticed that. We don't know what these creepers things. Hold on, Sky's texting me.
For some reason, I definitely believe that that they had an interaction and that the women definitely saw what was going on. I wonder now if the witnesses worked at the co-op as well, and if they were coworkers and they just chose one coworker to call the cops, because not everybody has to call if they know that their buddy's calling, hey, call 911. Okay, so-and-so called 911, now we don't have to. But I definitely feel that because they were van lifers, Gabby and Brian were obviously van lifers, and they told people they possibly could have linked up. I definitely feel that there's more of a connection than they wanted us to think.
I'm really starting to lean towards, I'm like questioning, and I'm still trying to figure it all out, and just bear with me, you guys, just bear it all out. I'm still taking notes on it because I am now really looking into this case. I started looking into this case when Gabby was missing, and that's how I learned about Kylie and Crystal. And I did cover it because I seen Sean Paul, and he was on his Facebook frustrated by what he was putting out. He was like pleading for anyone to help him. And I thought, my gosh, what a difference that case to Gabby's case of attention it had gotten. So I did start putting things out, but you guys know me, when I covered Gabby's case, I got no sleep. I would stay up all hours of the night researching. This is when she was missing, not after she was found. And it became, for me, I feel like after Gabby was found, when Gabby was missing, I felt like everyone came together as a community, like the true crime community really came together, all social media aspects of it all, even on TikTok. Amazing. I didn't even really know what TikTok was.
It was exhilarating.
it was like everybody came together and was trying to find her. And then she was found, unfortunately deceased. And then it became the Brian circus, I feel like. That's how I took it, at least. And it kind of just like was like, But I'm now looking into this case. So I'm going through everything. But I don't know, little bits of pieces of what I'm hearing Sean Paul say and what I'm reading and just little facts here and there. I can't help but wonder if the creeper is just that.
You promised to continue covering Kylie and Crystal, and unfortunately, this is kind of where it starts. And I feel like there definitely is more of a connection than initially I had said. People used to say, "Do you think Brian killed them?" And I said, "I don't think so." But now I'm thinking he could have had animosity towards anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we really don't know who Brian was. You think Roberta and his sister is going to tell us that Brian used to do things, harm animals when he was little, or draw these crazy things when he they're not saying anything. We don't know who Brian was, and everyone keeps pointing out that book. What's it called?
The Chuck Palahniuk book.
The one, no, the lullaby is that what it is? Everyone keeps telling me read it, and we talked about it a little bit, but we just don't know who Brian was really, what he really thought. And I know that crimes are different in manner. I understand that, but we just don't know who Brian was. And I don't know. I'm definitely going to start I'm deep diving into it. When I go quiet on the channel, it's usually either two reasons. I'm either sick or I'm researching, and I'm definitely just looking at everything. And this is, you guys, I'm taking you guys all with me. And I will pull Amanda up as much as I can on here, because it's always good to have someone else's, opinions and ways of thinking for us to come together. I mean, at the end of the day, none of us know, but I kind of want to do a video or go through a good timeline of everything. And who is this creeper? What do we know exactly about him?
And let's not forget, Amber makes a very good point that Rose had said that Gabby had expressed to her that he heard voices, that he was somewhat schizophrenic.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Is that on her TikTok, she said, or is that a part of that interview she did?
I believe it was in her interview.
I got a strike on that. I don't know who striked me, so I had to delete that video from my channel. I had to delete a lot of things. So who has it up that we can later go look at? That's very important information right there.
I think just Larry has it.
The whole thing of it?
I believe so, but we can check.
We're definitely going to have to check that out, because think about that. If she's saying Brian heard voices, again, we don't know who this freaking person is. We do not know. So yes, and Marm, thank you for saying that. Something about a flute playing guy. Yes, exactly. There's also things we're learning now that the creeper played a flute. Have you heard about that, Amanda? That is huge. That is huge. So I did try to go see if there was any events taking place during that time. I did see one, but it didn't start to the 22nd. Maybe some people that live around there can help me out with it. Share, send me some links or comment. That's a project for all of us to see if there was anything going on around. It would be maybe even before the 12th or up to what? I'd say because their lives were
18th, I think it was.
Yeah, so maybe the 18th, around there. If there was any.
Amber says it's in the Daily Mail article.
In the with Brian. Oh, okay.
With Rose.
Okay, we're gonna definitely have to look at that and see, because I think that's important information right there. And we're not gonna get anything from the family. They're not gonna tell us who Brian really was. I'm sorry, they're just not.
And Mar R also reminded us about the wedding. There was a wedding event. Yeah. Where there were several people there. I wonder if any more have spoken up. I think there's several interviews that we skipped over to just kind of get the main info that now we should go back and listen to.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to just start again from the beginning. I know Sean Paul talked about recently that wedding, because I remember I gave that project to Sky. I was like, can you find out any information about where this is in the beginning, who had the wedding, any photos, but we all looked into that, and Sky did really good. She got all the information like that for me. I'm like, Sky, I need help. Can you do this? And literally she's like, okay, hold. She comes back with all this information, who the couple was, their photos, everything. She came back with everything. But Sean Paul did say that, because one of my thoughts were maybe one of the parties here guest at the wedding might have, did he camp outside of there? Did he stay outside of there? But Sean Paul said that no one camped like around there. Everyone stood there. So because they have like area, like little bungalows or whatever, I think it is
Right.
nearby, but no one did. And it seems like I'm getting the feeling from Sean Paul that that's kind of like a dead end, but I feel still, I think they should be questioned though. Did they see anybody? Did anybody creep them out? I know a party, the guest list and all that. The father of the bride did have a list and all that, but what's been done about that follow up from law enforcement? No idea.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I don't want to forget to mention that his family said they knew he was mourning when he went back to Florida, but not before they took him camping and had s'mores and took pictures of him smiling with his nieces and with his nephews. This guy was a complete 180 from obviously having killed his girlfriend to camping with his family.
And that's another thing. Hold on, let me highlight this comment because and we're gonna do another live, you guys, where I'm gonna my little kid spread. You know how I make my little, whatever they called. Like I try to do a spreadsheet, but it ended up looking like a kindergarten did it. But I do want to put everything we know that's been said about this creeper dude. But before that, hold on. K Small says, "Hey guys, Crazy Crime Chick and Amanda, LOL, OMG. I thought you all possibly see my community post on my #2 channel. I was just joking, but Lord knows people will think it is legit." No, I have no idea what you're talking about, K Smalls.
The picture that possibly looks like Brian.
Oh, okay. I missed that completely. No, I seen it when it came out in articles and stuff like that, but I don't know. I personally think Brian is no longer alive. Mar R says, "Creeper guy went to get more clothes." The girl said yes, and that's another thing that I don't understand. The girl said that he went to go get more food. I think it's food and clothes. So to me, that makes me wonder, he went to go get clothes from where?
A tent, maybe?
But his tent is, he was camping close by them.
Oh.
So that's what makes me wonder, like, how do you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know he went to go, like, get more clothes?
Maybe he had a van.
Well, another thing is that's being said that the girls mentioned something about he had a car. So that's why people are saying it can't be Brian, because Brian, they had a van and the girls would know the difference between a car and a van. But I just can't help and think that van is kind of small. And not only that, it's such pitch black out there. So I don't know. And again, I call everything a car. Unless it's a big, like they had that black van, that's a van to me. But their little vehicle they had, that little white van, to me, I would call that. I would call that a car, honestly. I don't know about you guys, but I would call that a car. I don't know. But I'm just
a small van. I see them everywhere now, and they are very small. I've thought to myself, wow, I'd be so annoyed if I lived with somebody in there.
No, honestly, how many people? I've never even seen those vans before. Now, Gabby's case, I see them everywhere.
Everywhere.
But I think because now my mind is there, and that's why I'm seeing them. But that's a good thing, though. I'm wondering, these clothes, where did these clothes come from? Did he live nearby? I don't know. It's just so weird. So many questions. The more we get out, the more questions. But I'm definitely going to deep dive more into this. We're going to go through everything. I'm going to gather all the information. I'm going to go back and watch whatever I possibly can with this case. And I'm going to read every post and comment. Lord help me that I can find in the groups. Because one thing with this case that I do really appreciate, and I think everyone just wants to help Sean Paul. And you can't help but get that vibe from the group that I'm in. Like everybody just wants to help him out. Something else, let me just say real quick, because I can never just say goodbye. I just ramble. Something else Sean Paul said about the flute. I don't know if anyone caught this from the interview he did recently. He said that, remember those key fobs that was found at the campsite? You guys remember that?
They did find keys, yeah.
Yeah, remember they found the keys and it had like a gym membership thing on there. Well, that ended up getting cleared. They found out who it was and all this stuff. And the guy said that, no, it was, I think it was after the fact, after girls had been already found, that he went out there. He didn't even know about it. That's the story he gave. And I guess he was just, I don't know, no one, like, I guess he had nothing to do with it, I guess, is what it seems like. But Sean Paul said, funny thing is, now that people brought up this flute during that interview, he's like, well, that guy did play a flute. So I don't know. What if this creeper guy is that guy the whole time and everyone's just dismissed him already? So
I don't know. I could see Brian's weirdo self playing a flute. Like you definitely see him like drumming his little guitar. I feel like he could have done it all. I just question him 100 now. We don't know him.
And did Brian ever have a flute in anything? Any photo? Anybody? That's a project. We're gonna have to look and see if there's.
Everyone's gonna look for a flute now.
In high school, did he play? Was he part of band? I mean, we don't know. I don't know. Now we're gonna have to go look at everything. But again, I just want to thank everyone for being here. Logan's mom's been around for a long time, and I remember when I seen her name, and I was like, oh, Logan's mom reminds me of when I was younger, and you go to your friend's house, and you're like, oh, so-and-so's mom. So I don't know. I loved her name, so immediately I was like, she has it's a tragic story, though, so maybe one day she'll share it with us. Good to see you, though, Logan's mom here. And so a flute, Brian had a flute.
No, they said they could picture him playing a flute.
Oh,
like a wooden flute. Yeah.
Look at my eyes already. I'm like, what? Send me a photo. I'm already, oh my God. A car, maybe like a wooden, I don't know. All we know is that it's being put out that the creeper guy had a flute.
He could have whittled his own flute.
Yeah. So I don't know. So again, we're going to deep dive into this. So I'm going to let you guys go. I want to thank Amanda so much for taking the time out of her day for being here with me and just going over this case.
Thanks you for dragging me out of my little live coma.
I know everyone misses you. Everyone does. And I'm like, Amanda, you got to be on camera. So I'm like, no, I said, Amanda, do you want to be on camera? Yes or no? Because whatever she would have said, I would have went for.
I don't mind cutting my nap short for you, crazy.
Damn, it's time for me to take a nap. 3:00, I start shutting down and everything. Also really quick. So I'm going to let Amanda jump off right now. So again, Amanda, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And then I will just wrap it up with chat. So again, thank you, Amanda.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
All right, guys. So really quick, before I let you guys, let me take that off the chat. Amanda smile. Amanda looks amazing, right? She's too hard on herself, I swear. Look at me. Hi, guys. Look at my hair. Oh my goodness. It's been so long, right? Since we've seen Amanda. Hey, Becky. I know you missed the whole thing. Really quick, someone emailed me the documents for Kayla Montgomery's, she's being charged with food stamp fraud. So I did see that. So unfortunately, I don't go live, you guys, my regulars know this. I don't go live on Saturday and Sunday. I rarely do because usually that's family time. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do a read through, but I'm going to make it into a premiere. And I think I'll incorporate some of the stuff we're seeing with her mother did an interview. I shared it on my community. If you haven't seen it, she did an interview. She's talking to the news. And then I believe the uncle did one also. So I also shared that too. So I'll incorporate little clips in the premiere and then I'll set it for tomorrow and we'll just go from there. And then I'll just continue doing what I do. I am working on a video for you guys, a Summer Wells video that I need to get finished already. And then another video. So I got my hands full. Let me just say hi to seriously go look at my, okay, I'll go look at it, Case Malls. I honestly I have no idea. Is it the same article I read? Oh, it's a different article, but is it the same thing? I'm trying to see. Hey, Lisa. Yes, you're going to have to play the replay, part of the replay gang. Let me see. So how's your guys' Friday going? I'm just scrolling up to comments just to see. Lisa says, I have a feeling Brian looked all jacked up when he flew to Florida. I don't know. It's interesting because he flew to Florida on the 17th and then the girls' bodies were found on the 18th. Why did he go out there for storage? And we haven't seen any surveillance of the storage of him going out there. We haven't even seen any receipts that he had a storage. He closed it. I mean, we haven't seen anything. And I just feel like with this case, that would have slipped out by now. We would have gotten it. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I've never bought that storage from the beginning, and I'm not buying it even more now. So I don't know. I'm Arizona time. Oh, never mind. I thought Andrea said she's Arizona time. She said, time to watch the replay. Take care, everyone. And I'll be looking for Amanda's list. Amazon list. I thought she said Arizona time. All right, guys. I think that's it. I think I'm caught up. Probably not. So thank you guys for being here with me. Let me take that off of the screen before I do it. And thank you guys for being here and talking this case with me. Definitely going to keep diving into it. So I will talk to you guys. Hold on, I want to do something really quick. I will talk to you guys soon. Hold on. And I'll end it with this.